Okay, let's go.
Hello there, Chick Chatters. We are back with Teen Mom episode 8.
Teased that Brianna is bringing a secret person who turned out to be secret people. So Kiaya's coming, which was a surprise. And then Leah was supposed to be coming with them, but I guess she missed her flight, so she's coming later on.
Classic Leah. You know, classic Leah. Mr. Realtor's test, Mr. Flight, she's missing a lot of important things in her life.
Remember back in the day when she couldn't even get her kids to school, and then her husband was yelling at her? I think Jeremy was married to her at the time, and he was like, well, no wonder you got all this shit in the car all the time. And they show her in the car, and it's like stacked up to the brim. The kids are like barely got their eyes. It's like craziness.
Classic Leah. We love Leah. So, yeah. And her cornbread.
Yeah. So we knew Leah was coming because we heard about her in some of the promos and trailers, but I did not know Kiaya was coming at all. I guess she was in one of the promos when she gets in this fight later. But
her and Brianna show up and they decided to be really, really loud. When they showed up, it literally did look like everybody was in relax mode and just kind of laying around and doing whatever. All the couples were chilling. They come in and they start screaming at everybody. They're like, no, this is not acceptable. No, this is ridiculous. They're not having it.
If this is the way y'all are coming in, y'all can leave.
They were very hyper. Kiaya got into her issues with her dad for a moment. It took a turn, I remember.
Yeah. It went from really high to just crashing down with some sad emotions. So, I mean, it's really sad. Kiaya's story about her dad is really, really sad. I think they kind of go into some of the details in this episode, but her dad overdosed from drugs, and the night that her dad overdosed, he wanted her to go to a football game or something with him. And she said she didn't want to because she wanted to hang out with her friends, which is any normal teenager would want to hang out with their friends on a weekend and do things with them instead of their parents. And she carries all this guilt with her all the time because he overdosed that night. And I just could not imagine. It is so sad. And she's had this really toxic relationship with this woman, Tiaza, who also has a lot of trauma. It's not Tiaza's fault, but there's just a lot that they have all endured in the past that we've saw on previous Teen Mom reunions and on Young and Pregnant and all of that. So she definitely has reason to come crashing down real quick, but it was very abrupt, just from wow, we're here, and oh, Kaylee, you guys are having a baby, holy crap, to just bam, emotions.
And again, the cast is concerned, but they know she will get something out of this. They're concerned that she's going to get something out of this, but she will get something out of this. We all will.
Yeah. I could do like a montage too for Brie of her past a little bit, but mostly just her terrible dating history and all the things she's been through. She does say that she thinks it's her own issue that she has to work on. So I appreciate the accountability because duh.
My favorite was the guy that didn't talk to her for 3 weeks.
I just don't get it. You know, one of her exes looks like
Corey Gamble.
Yeah.
I think that was the guy. I'm not sure, so don't quote me. It's alleged. I think that it was the guy that used to work for MTV as like a security or boom guy.
Right. I think you're right. I think that was him. Yeah. And a lot of people
talked to her for 3 weeks. Isn't that his job to talk to her?
I know. And the thing is, I heard that a lot of people in that security firm that had been working with MTV for years and years lost their job because of that, because it went against the contracts, and they ended up firing a whole contract, all those people that worked with him, and just went with the whole new company. So he made probably tons of people lose their jobs just to date this woman for like a couple of days.
I feel like that was him, but I'm not sure if it was him. But it kind of looked, it was giving production guy.
Yeah. Brie's talking about how she's lonely and how she's ready to have a fun vacation. And then pretty much right after that, we get to the jet skis.
And the jet skis was something that I think Zach planned because he was just really excited to get on a jet ski. But it was really choppy looking out there. I think I would have probably turned around. But
yeah, or just like go slow and not act like such a maniac. I laughed out loud the first time I watched it when Corey called Taylor Worry Wharton Taylor. I was, like actually died. I don't know why I thought it was so funny, but it was funny to me. So they swapped spots and he let her drive so that she didn't worry so much. And he's just sitting there holding on to her titties, grabbing them. dear life. I guess it's probably good handlebars. So
I think she was just scared for her life if Corey would have drove, which we saw him on there after he was just
he was kind of crazy.
He was riding like Kiaya, and Kiaya was driving that thing like a nutcase. So she finally gets there. Apparently, they all left her. Why would you leave this girl? She just was upset about her father, and then you're gonna leave this girl?
I mean, it did seem like it was right in front of the place, but
I mean, someone yell it to her, "Hey, go and jet skiing. We'll see you down there."
She's probably just in her room crying, and then she's like, "Why is it so
comes
quiet?"
out, no one's there. And she was so excited. I felt bad, but she was so excited to get on the jet ski. She's never been on one before. And I'm like, well, of course, Zach chose the choppiest day out there, other than the probably the cube day where they stack the cubes. To be out there in the water.
Someone drove her first so that she gets the feel that you need to like move with it, because that's how you don't end up hitting your head. You need to know when you're gonna hit the waves and what that feels like when you come down, and know
She was
how
going
to
at those waves though. Like she was, it was a
it's
therapy session for her.
Air, but you gotta be able to know how to move your body.
Someone should have stopped this girl. She was just crying, and then she gets on a jet ski, and of course she's driving with emotion. She's never been on one of these damn. No one even asked her if she's been on one before they let her get on one.
That they noticed as soon as she was on it. She's never done it. They're pretty basic.
They are, but it's still like she didn't really hurt herself worse than she did. No one gave her a crash course or nothing. I remember in 7th grade we had to get our jet ski license in homeroom for no reason in Michigan, just because we're a water state.
Yeah, we got our boating licenses. Yeah,
it's something that we did in Michigan and in school, in grade school. So Dean was like, "What?" Because Dean's from New Jersey and stuff, so they don't do that stuff over there. It must be because Michigan is surrounded by water. Might as well teach them young. But there, usually you get like a little crash course if you've never done it before. Somebody explain it to you. This girl just hopped on a jet ski seemingly and got taken away by the waves, just like Mackenzie got taken away by that man in the last episode. It was
so true. So true. But she was having so much fun. She's all like, I needed this. And then she smacks her poor little face right on the handlebars during a big wave. She like went up and, came down with her full body. So she comes back, face covered up. They already have the medic on the way. It looked pretty bad enough that they did decide to take her to the hospital. She didn't just bump her head by any means. Shy ended up going with her, and she comes back a little bit later and returns without her by herself. She's hanging out in the hospital for a good amount of time. It sounds like, I think Shy said that they were doing MRIs and some x-rays and stuff like that.
That's what needs to happen when she hit her head that hard. She definitely had a concussion. There's no way she didn't. She could have had like real damage. I mean, it's good that they just took her right in.
I mean, if she would have hit her nose in a certain way, she could have fucked her eye, she's almost probably lucky that she hit her neck.
But she could have even decapitated herself. She hit her neck in a certain spot. That's the thing. Like, you just
split her lip open.
You can't mess around with these things. I'm really surprised that MTV just let her just hop right on there. When in her confessional, she's like, "I've never been on one of these things before, but here, let's get on in choppy water and just go full speed." She's going full freaking speed.
Right. That's why I don't ride those things either. Like, I know how to ride one, but I don't do go-karts. I don't do jet skis. I'm not trying to hurt myself. I like my body intact.
So she's in the hospital for a while, and as she's in the hospital,
we did get a Kate and Ty therapy session, actually. Their session was pretty vanilla for them, although I think they got something out of it.
Yeah, that's the key. As long as I got something out of it. They did crack me up because before going into the session, Tyler's like, I mean, I don't really have anything I want to work on, but I'm curious to see where Dr. Mike's going to take us. And I'm like, what? Like they ran out of couples. This is the last couple they had to do a therapy session with before they start recycling couples for therapy sessions. And they just had
I was practicing his therapy skills on Ryan before Dr. Mike even came to get him. He's all asking him, what's your worst case scenario and how do you feel? And then Dr. Mike comes to get him and he's like, we'll finish this later. I know. You're not the therapist.
But he was doing good work. I feel like he was getting at what we were pretty much getting at. Like, what is your worst case? You have this baby and then what? I'm just so confused by them, but I can't get into them again. We just got into them for a long time last episode, and I'm not doing that again.
I did think it was interesting in their therapy session that Kate suggests to Ty that he should maybe look more into his bipolar diagnosis because part of his anger and irritability might be because of that, and that Ty is not into taking medication, and Kate is very adamant and consistent on her medication. I didn't know that they were so different in the way that they were treating their mental health, because those are very different avenues of treatment for mental health. And it seems like Kate is very adamant and consistent with medication, which works for her well, and she says saved her life. And Kate is very adamant and consistent that he does not want medication. And he's worried, in fact, that the medication could take away what he's worked for. So I just thought it was interesting that they have such different perceptions of what treatment is for them. Obviously, different treatments are good for everybody. But the fact that they have this marriage, and a big part of their marriage is mental health, and they deal with it so differently.
So different, yeah. Because Tyler was doing ketamine treatments and stuff, but he doesn't want to take regular meds, which, I mean, whatever. I mean, everybody's got their own views. I mean, Kate just lets him do it too. She's just like, okay, see you later.
Whatever works for you.
And she takes her daily med.
Right. Yeah, like one pill, you know? Like, okay, I'll just do this.
Have fun doing that. I'm gonna do this.
Go on your trip there, guys.
See you in a few days.
Yeah, it is very, very interesting how they have such different outlooks on treatment, and yet they seem to respect each other about it.
Whatever works for them, apparently, is working for them. So
yes. But so then we get Leah. She looks good. No wonder she missed her flight.
Yeah, she looks good. She must have been taking care of the girls before her flight and giving them one last pep talk before she went in her Hawaiian outfit. But she's here. She walks into the whole situation of Kiaya being gone in the hospital. So I don't even remember much of any of this part. I just remember when Leah got really drunk.
I mean, that's just about what happens. They give a little black and white of her history with Jalen, which we do not need to discuss because he gets little golden nuggets every once in a while in this channel on his own. So then Leah says she's only going to have 2 drinks. She tells somebody to watch out for her. And then just 30 seconds later, we see this girl taking shot after shot after shot. And then the ambulance arrives to drop Kiaya off in her neck brace.
It's pure chaos in one day.
Yeah, she was a good sport about it, though. I thought it was kind of funny. She walked in, she was giving everyone the middle finger. I got this stiff neck, blah, blah, blah. But they all get to pretty much just drinking as soon as Kiaya walks back in. Everyone is clearly relieved. Mm-hmm. And they just start having a good time by their little pool. I have to say, I really love wherever they're staying. I wish we could bring all of our friends to that place. It just seems so perfect for a large group. You have all your private rooms, but there's this central living room with a giant pool in the middle of it. And
I wonder if that's an Airbnb we can look into.
Honestly, I want to go there. It looks so fun. It looks like they have, got your DJ, your bartenders. I'm sure that stuff costs extra to have it serviced, but it just seems like so much fun to just hang out with this pool and the kitchen. And it would be good.
Yeah. They end up on the beach, and apparently Caitlin and Leah decide to go for a swim, and they go out pretty far, and it's dark. I don't know why they wanted to go out to the beach when they have a whole pool in the dark. I don't like to swim in the dark like that out in the ocean. No, you couldn't pay me.
Yeah, I kind of get like that. Drunk, I want to do more thrilling adventures than I want to do when I'm not drunk. But I would not be all the way out there like they were. You almost couldn't even see their heads anymore, and they were both in light colored shirts, and it was still hard to see. My butt in the water maybe, but I'm not out there like fucking chin deep.
Yeah. I'll go a little bit out there, but I'm not going to get to where I'm actually swimming.
Howdy comes up at some point, and I don't know who they were talking to, but they were talking to like some of the other cast.
Undercurrent. The undercurrent.
So they're like waving them back in, trying to tell them to come. And Leah is so drunk. I mean, Kate was drunk too, and she wasn't happy about it, but she was at least a little bit more compliant in the moment. But Leah, I think she said to Ryan, I don't even know you.
Yeah, they all tried telling Leah and Caitlin about the undercurrent. Caitlin kind of understood, and Caitlin said in her confessional she definitely understood the next morning. Sober Caitlin understood, and drunk Caitlin did not. And I think that same sentiment probably applied to Leah, but we don't get that from her because we didn't get much confessional from her. We just got a lot of action. She was a whole drunk, sloppy mess. She was just kind of they were trying to talk to her about the undercurrent, and at first she seemed like she was fine with it, but then she'd walk off and she'd be like, undercurrent. She acted like I was like it didn't even exist.
I know. She was like, those people are stupid. You think I'm stupid? You're stupid. I was like, oh my God, Leah. Like, there's actual undercurrents in the ocean, okay? And it's dark.
You're gonna die.
See what the waves are doing, so just stop it.
Yeah, like they saved your life. Like, that's what they're trying to tell you. And Kaya's just kind of getting over it because they've explained it to Leah, but then they can keep hearing Leah talking about the undercurrent, and she's yelling about the undercurrent. And it's to the point where now Leah and Kaya are yelling at each other about the undercurrent. Sean springs out of bed to protect Jade from the noise.
He did the whole thing where you're pissed off and you move the cover.
Jade's like, what's going on? He's like, I'm gonna find out. And it seemed like he was gonna go out there and yell at them, and that's what I thought he was gonna do. But literally, this man just stood outside of the door and just watched. I don't think he was prepared to see the chaos that was going on.
I think as soon as he saw Kayla having her arm out for no reason, but good thinking, just to keep the distance. But Kayla having her arm out, Kaya screaming, like telling this girl she's drunk. Leah just her eyes crossed in all several directions. He's like, I don't need to get myself into this.
She was not making any sense either when she was talking. I was like, Kaya, what you really just should have done, you knew this girl was just walk away and be like, you know, I can't with this girl right now. Goodbye.
Honestly, though, I have seen Kaya pop off and really actually get mad, and she was just slightly irritated here. She definitely was able to let it go. And at the very end of the episode, she turned around and said something like, you know, I'll just talk to you when you're not drunk or something. And Leah was so drunk. We're talking in the morning. We're not arguing.
I don't want to talk to you anymore at all. Leah, chill out. Leah
was turns into a straight up toddler when she's too drunk. She's got no filter. She's just way too defensive. She's one of those people where it's hard to corral because they're so defensive when they're drunk.
I didn't realize she belonged on Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
When she's drunk. Man, like she was just a whole hot mess. That whole argument was so funny to watch.
It was good. I was entertained by that. I don't think this is the last of Leah really drunk because I know in the promo they talked about her getting so drunk one night she took her top off. So I think we might see more of this version of Leah.
She's, I think, going through a crisis after whatever Jalen put her through that she's not allowed to talk about, non-disclosure or whatever.
Wasted Leah, though, because at least she doesn't have a filter when she's wasted, and when she's sober, she's so closed up and closed off.
So boring. I love this for her. I love this for us. I hope that doesn't mean, though, that she's looking other things, but the way that this girl's eyes were crossing and all types of stuff, we had way too many shots.
And the way she was taking those shots, most people take a shot like this. She was going like straight to the mouth. I'm not going to lose a drop.
Nope. It's funny because what really got Kaya going was somebody mentioning to go to sleep, but what they were really trying to do is get Leah to go to sleep, but Leah wouldn't go to sleep. So then they start arguing about sleep, and I'm like, y'all are all just yelling at this point. I ain't going to sleep, and then Leah's like, you need to go to sleep because you got your neck broken.
She called her weird. She said, you came in that neck brace. It was so weird. She said, I have a stiff neck. Like that was her fashion statement or something. It was so weird.
Leah, though, she's not known for her level of education. So.
She didn't go to preschool.
I never went to preschool.
She might not have went to preschool either. Might be a thing in the South, preschool.
Yeah, preschool's optional in the South.
I never went to preschool.
It might be optional.
Allegedly optional.
Preschool.
In the South.
The episode does end here pretty much during the little argument. We didn't really get to a resolution, so I'm sure they'll kind of pick up and get to that at the start of the next episode. They did show us in the trailer, it's not just for the next episode, it's more to come. So I'm guessing we're probably winding down the season, but there's got to be at least 3 more episodes if they're showing this large of a trailer. It looks like Bree is going to have a little single fun in the DR. She's going to bring a man back. The man poses for the camera with his shirt off, so we'll see what that entails.
She's in her little microphone like, am I gonna get laid? Well, we're gonna find out.
I know, it's so funny.
She's really good looking, so good for her.
He looked like a full man. He had some muscles. He was confident in himself. So I feel like,
what if he realized there was even a camera right there when he was doing all that? Like,
you're right. There could have been a mirror on the wall or something, you know.
Yeah,
that's hilarious. Right? Yeah, he wasn't looking right at it. So we'll see
Yeah.
about that. I don't know if they're gonna kind of tease it like they did last time, but it looks like Kate and Ty are gonna have maybe a serious conversation about how they're caring for each other or caretakers for each other. We'll see. Corey and Tyler end up having, it looks like, some more serious conversations about their future, and it does not look like it's going well, at least the part that we saw. And then it shows Bree talking about something that nobody knows, not her family, not her friends, not anybody, and she's crying. So I guess there's probably a little group therapy session or maybe an individual therapy session.
I mean,
Um,
I can't imagine at this point. I mean, her sister had a different dad. Her
we already
dad
had all these public
she's had
revelations,
secret
like
siblings. Like, I
so
don't know.
many public revelations. So I don't know what it is now, but I'm strapped in and ready. And then it
Yeah.
looks like they're going to end the season with a yacht trip. So that will probably be a nice little spicy
I
potty.
will say, I hope that this next episode doesn't include the therapy session with Kiaya and Leah, and that takes away from her therapy she needs for her dad's passing, because I could see her getting screwed like that because of some drama with Leah that it encompasses her time there.
I hope knows that she got really drunk and just, squashes it. She needs to go to Kiaya. I mean, if Kiaya wants, she, I guess, could probably start the conversation, but I think
Someone's
Leah
got to
needs
tell Leah what she did, and then she's.
I think people will. I think Kayla will. I think Kate will. So we'll see. It's kind of on Leah's side. She was over there rooting her on about the
She
undercurrent.
was drunk too. She didn't know what's
Yeah.
going on. That's what I'm saying. That's why she was like, sober Caitlin understands, but drunk
Yeah.
Caitlin did not. So
But
maybe
drunk Caitlin was at the outside of her room when Leah's yelling about the undercurrent, and she's like, she's pointing at her.
the undercurrent. Like, they didn't know what the hell they were talking about, those girls with the undercurrent. That's where we're going to leave you off, Chick Chatters, because honestly, there really wasn't much in this episode.
Yeah, that was it. I mean, we pretty much covered everything. So thanks for joining us. We do have a subscriber goal of 300 subscribers. So if you're watching and have been watching, just go ahead and click the subscribe button. What are you waiting for? This is what we do. We will be back. Hit the like button while you're at it. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Share. Repeat. Reduce, reuse, Rihanna, recycle.